Let's do a roll call. We'll start with Susan.
Sue Polidura, present.
Steve Buzzle here.
Michael Griffin, here.
Celeste Brooks.
Peter Splain.
Susan Starry here, and
Warren Hallowell, Parks and Greenery Cemeteries Forum in City of Portsmouth.
the only request I, I got from Barbara this time was if when we're doing a second, if that person can speak up clearer or raise a hand, because that's the only real problem she had. She said on a couple of them, she had to look at lips. But other than that, we all did fine. She could transcribe. Which leads us into approval of the minutes. Did everyone get a chance to read them? And if anybody found any changes they need? Okay, so if I can get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Raise your hand, Sue.
I was waiting for that.
Okay, all of those, what do I? In favor.
Aye.
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 It wouldn't be a meeting if I didn't mess it up. So, discuss revisions to visitor etiquette in historical. Barbara ran off some copies for us so that we could review them real quick. I looked them over and I didn't have any issues, but the rest of you are free to make comments on if you like what it says now. It did shorten it up.
Yeah, will this be posted?
Well, that was my question afterwards, how we didn't decide if we're going to post these, or what do you think, Corey?
I thought it was just going to be on the city website. And we already have the sign there that's, dawn to dusk, and all that. Dusk to dawn. I don't know. I'm pretty burnt out on signs. I mean, it's literally a sign every 2 feet in the city. So I'm not sure people even read them.
Yeah.
I think that it should be on the website. And that's just my, that's my take on it.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't know what the committee was hoping for.
I think so too.
I think it, it's law enforcement obviously, it ought to be CC'd to them, and they should know what the rules are, and other than that, it's on the website. I mean, a lot of this is like pretty
Common sense.
obvious stuff.
Right. Well, we have
If
something to move
anything,
on.
we could add a QR code
Right.
on a sign that says, for further guidance on cemetery rules, please follow the QR code or something.
But that still requires a
More,
sign.
a new sign, yeah, which we already just pointed out. So.
And a little effort to look it up on the.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, what was the committee hoping for?
I don't think that we had even discussed it. I can't even remember now why we thought we needed etiquette
I think
rules.
adopting etiquette, putting
Yeah.
it on the website, and then if in the future we think we really need to put it out there because we're having major problems, that could be talked about. But I think it's a good start to. That way, when you're talking to visitors or you're interacting with folks, you can say, "Hey, there's actually etiquette for cemeteries. You can find that on our website."
I think there are a couple small, just,
Yeah. good.
grammatical ones that we could change, like remove do, just please supervise your children and pets, please dispose, I think you can get rid of all, and dispose of all pet waste litter. It's implied dispose of that, not just, if you remove it, it's not like someone's gonna think, oh, I only need to dispose of some of it, I can leave some of it. I don't think you need all there. I think that, I mentioned before, but in the touching or removing memorials, just remove without permission. Like that's implied, I think. Disturbing wildlife or plants, it should be and plants.
Wait a second, you're going too
Oh,
fast.
sorry.
So on, because I forgot to write it down, dispose of all pet waste, litter, and.
No, just remove all. Dispose of pet waste, litter, and cigarette butts properly.
Oh,
So
Yes.
Remove do
all.
and remove all. Under touching or removing memorials, remove without permission. It's implied.
So
I
she's
think.
saying, instead of it saying please do, just please supervise your children and pets, remove all pet waste, litter, and cigarette butts properly.
No, remove pet waste litter.
Yep.
Get rid of all.
And then please refrain from, and then what's your next?
So remove without permission. Just take those two words out.
Touching or removing memorials, mementos, or artifacts.
And you need a comma after mementos, personally, I think.
Yep.
Writing this down?
Yep, I know.
Okay.
Under disturbing wildlife, so it should be and, not or.
Yeah.
And plants, yep.
And then under allowing your pets, so it should be allowing pets to relieve themselves, so get rid of your. And then allowing pets to relieve themselves on monuments, comma, which causes damage.
Yep.
Yeah, good, I like that.
Which causes, yep.
And then, thank you for showing respect in this space. Get rid of your and
For showing respect for, yep.
in, just respect in this place. Or for this place, either way, that's choice, but you don't need your respect in there.
You could add a word in there for space, what kind of space is it, you know, kind of, but if we're
And you could-
eliminating words, then that's fine.
Yeah, just removing the wordiness from it, or you could just say, thank you for showing respect for the cemetery.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
For the cemetery.
Yeah. Or for this cemetery.
The cemetery, yep. Okay.
I think that removes
Good
a
job, you're
little.
like eighth grade English teacher.
Yeah,
Sister
she's,
Scholastica.
sister,
tough.
yeah.
She was good, you're good.
So we're gonna, just
Yeah.
so we're clear, get rid of do, so it's gonna say please, colon, supervise your children and pets, remove all pet waste,
No.
litter, and cigarette butts properly.
No. Dispose of pet waste, litter, and you just want to remove the word all, specifically dispose of pet waste, litter.
Dispose.
Right.
Pet
Remove
waste.
all.
I got
The
you.
all is implied because even if you remove it, some people aren't going to think, oh, I just need to get rid of some of it, you know.
Dispose all pet waste, litter, and cigarette butts properly. Please refrain from touching or removing memorials, mementos, or artifacts. Using alcohol or bringing weapons into the sacred space, idling your vehicle or traveling off the designated roadways or parking areas, disturbing wildlife and plants, allowing pets to relieve themselves on the monuments, comma, which causes damage. Thank you for showing respect for this cemetery.
And it should be,
And comma after mementos.
Yeah. Just
should be our cemeteries if this is going up on the page, up on the website, it would be ours, because it would, no matter which cemetery you went into. We have 7 of them, so.
Okay.
And you'll give that to Suzanne, or do you, well, she's gone for a week anyway. so-
I mean, did Barbara write this?
No, it's Suzanne's.
Oh, I'll let her know. Yeah, I can send her a note.
Okay. I mean, I'd be glad to do it, whatever way you want to go.
That's fine.
No, they haven't.
Your call.
Okay.
You're the chair. You tell me.
I'm just a person.
I can also edit that page and send it to her if you wanted, because there was one that was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I can do that.
And now that we all know, that's good.
Awesome.
Make it easy for her.
Just, are we going to say thank you for showing respect for our cemetery?
Our
So we're clear?
cemeteries.
Our cemeteries, yeah.
Okay.
If this is on a website, that makes sense.
Okay.
Also, maybe it says help us to protect historic cemeteries, or our historic cemetery, because up top.
Yeah, just a general
Yes.
thing.
So if we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
multiple, would we say help us protect?
Historic cemeteries?
Yeah.
Let's protect historic cemeteries. Okay, so can I have a motion to put this document on the website, cemetery webpage for now?
Once edited.
Once edited, yeah.
I make a motion to add the guidelines to the website once they're edited as we identified today.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Yeah, and all 3 of you, Barbara's going to say, okay, that's all right. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, so it has passed. Oh, Dee, when did you show up?
It's been here the whole time.
Yeah, she's been there.
Why didn't you shout? Sorry, I did not see you up there. I'm looking at these faces, so. What's the weather down there?
Oh, hot.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Where is she, in Florida?
No,
South Carolina.
Oh, yours is hot.
did you get a chance to read these online, Suzanne? They were in the packet about the historic cemeteries and your guidelines?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. And are you in favor too? You can vote, because
Absolutely. I said aye. Yep.
sorry. Why did you guys kick me? I didn't know she was up there.
Because we
I
thought
am-
that you knew that you was up there.
No, I
You
didn't
was
know.
up there early.
I feel like this weather today has just like, I know where I am, but that's about it. So, all right, let's go on to the guidelines for installation of additional markers in the city of Portsmouth. This is pretty detailed. This is the one we didn't get to at the last meeting. And my only comment on it, everything that's in here is fine, and I like it because it makes it so we have some say in what goes in the cemeteries before it gets carried away. I know we have historic, but so many people are coming out of the woodwork about because they belong to this program or this family association and what have you, which is fine, only we would like to be able to approve what they're going to put there. You know, it's not just something plastic that's going to break, and sort of approve that final design or whatever. And I'm sure that it's not going to be anything big other than you've all seen the normal stars for the different organizations, I would assume, going forward. But you never know, because up in Cotton Cemetery, there's a one headstone that has all kinds of things on it, which that's fine, and the family.
I mean, the knickknacks and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the lights and everything. But they come on a regular basis and put flowers and stuff, so the family is active in that particular site, so they do take care of it. And I think that's one of the things that says in this paper, who's going to take care of it if it's not like a permanent marker to be placed there. Because we don't have the same issue like proprietors in Sagamore and Harmony, because they have recent burials, and so there's so many people that come and put their plants or make little gardens around the headstones and things like that. But again, you never know. So I just wanted to throw that out. That's sort of how I looked at that. And the only thing.
Question?
Yep.
So like that one that's in Cotton that has all that stuff, there's some big green lights that have been up since Christmas time. I mean, are these guidelines saying they have, those temporary things have to be removed in a period of time, or can they stay up there year-round, or what's the thoughts on that?
Well, I think one of it says regulatory adherence. I didn't mark off the one about who is going to tell. Oh, preservation and maintenance. There has to be a maintenance plan, require a maintenance plan for the new marker, including responsibility for upkeep and funding sources. I mean, that would be grandfathered in anyway, because it's been like that for a long time, right, Michael?
I believe
Way
so, yes.
before. I mean, I'm going on.
It continues to get larger.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Things
You
are
wa-
added, not removed. Right, right.
You walk up there quite a bit, Dee. Do you know which, yeah, have you?
Yeah, I know that the family, that died in the fire on Islington. I think,
That's not the same grave.
not the same one?
No.
In Cotton?
Yeah.
You know, the McLaughlins are behind that.
No.
So are we talking about like adornments to existing headstones, like, that's separate than a
Yes.
Yeah.
mark. So we're talking about like people put the fake flowers, or they're putting, so you have a site that's like expanding and more stuff's getting.
Yeah, it's bigger
Yeah.
than this table right now, and there's like these big plastic Christmas balls. Some of them are falling down, they've been
Yeah.
blown over, and stuff
mean-
is adding to it.
I would imagine that that would be at the discretion of whoever's maintaining the cemetery, whether they want to remove those whenever they want to remove them, right?
That's you.
So if it's turning into junk and whoever's put it out there isn't picking it up, I think we would have the right to just scoop it on up and put it away. Right?
Yeah, I would, but I'm asking a question.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be my take. That's just that turns into trash at some point. It's no longer a memorial sort of, that's all that temporary stuff. It's temporary.
Yeah.
We're talking about, this is addressing permanent markers, right?
Right. I think is it?
I think that, well, we might want to make that clear. We might
Right.
want to say, for installation of permanent markers.
Yes.
Whereas, and then maybe define something about temporary markers will be removed at the discretion of the city and maintenance department or whatever.
That'd be fine.
Based on how long, aesthetics and, 'cause there's definitely stuff you're like, oh, wow, that's got to go. Pots and things like that are just plastic pots that are
Oh,
put
they
out
have
for-
whirligigs and everything. But
I don't know if that's important to note on this. Maybe we need to have the word permanent in there. Permanent
It's
markers.
of, yeah, take out the additional.
I don't know if we need to mention temporary. I don't think that even needs to be addressed. I think that just gets addressed if somebody from this committee is in a cemetery and there's knickknacks that are looking like trash, feel free to pick them up, throw them away.
Okay.
Yeah, for interment, but requests. Anybody else have any other comments?
I'll have Chris Rice, who works for my brother. We currently do all the grass maintenance cutting in the Cotton Cemetery
Right,
as part of an agreement with Public Works, so we can take leaves and
Right.
materials to the transfer station. And I'll ask Chris if, he thinks it's beginning to become a problem.
okay. Now, Chris is your nephew?
Chris Rice works for my.
Oh, the tall gentleman, okay.
Well, how do we approach flags that have fallen on the ground?
Again, temporary, and it's not following protocol of how to properly handle American flags. So
Your
you pick
folks
it up
will
and,
remove them.
yep, oh, yeah.
That's how this all started, right? It was the flags that people stuck and then they didn't pick up.
That and the Christmas wreaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reefs. Yeah, that's right. I remember
And
now.
flowers, and,
Yeah.
they come out for a birthday or a special day, and then
Yeah.
they leave it and they never come back.
For the historic sites, it's basically been the wreaths and the flags.
Yeah.
That one area up in Cotton, that family's been taking care of that for a long, long time.
I know right where that is.
Yeah, yeah, so that's,
I'm curious who they are.
yeah. And it was the last time when I was up there and someone came, I think you were with me. That young guy came and put something there and took something away.
Oh, that
And-
wasn't me then.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, we can deal with that, like you say.
I'll report back. Yeah.
And take care of it. But the other ones, who got in right before we started talking about this, there is one more DAR star that's going to go on Woodbury Langdon's tomb, right in front of his tomb. So, but that's an approved one. It's a DAR sign, and it's in their process of getting an official one that will stand up forever, so hopefully won't get stolen. So any other comments on this? And again, I think we'll just or my view is, it says, it'll be presented to the cemetery committee and people have to make out a form or something, and there's none in place right now. I think we can wait until someone actually wants to do a form, and then we can design something after that for the first time out. So if that sounds feasible. And then they'll send it to us.
Would someone be required to get approval if they're just going to put like World War II veteran or things like that, the fairly,
stars?
the stars and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only reason being is because those are expensive, and a lot of people make fake ones.
Really?
Oh, yeah, make them out of plastic. You can go online and you can make any of those, the DAR, any of them. You can get them done in plastic and then stick them in the ground. So, I mean, that's my personal thing. I don't get the final say.
Well, I
on
think if
that.
it's not, then if it's not considered permanent, then it might get thrown out because it's temporary. So if they want it to be there permanently, then they have to go through the process to make it permanent, right?
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my take.
Yeah. And I'm thinking people that would put one of those, they would have to go through the same process too. They'd have to contact the I don't know who makes them for the veterans or how it goes, but they would have.
Contact like, my father-in-law just had an Army one put on, and it was from the U.S. Army. They ordered it from the Army, and the Army sent the metal placard for him to put on his grave. So.
Oh, so you.
How does it get put on the headstone?
It's
Epoxy?
no, you can do an epoxy, or you can like send you the metal post that goes in.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So
So we want people to go through the process before they put those out.
Well, again.
I wouldn't have a
it's
problem
not-
if someone says, U.S. Navy veteran served here. That says on the gravestone, we've allowed that gravestone to go in. So why couldn't a family member put an Army medallion there too? I don't have a problem.
Well, no, that's a good question. And again, it gets complicated. The only cemetery that those kinds of things would probably come up would be, again, Cotton, because there are newer cemeteries. And matter of fact, we still haven't heard why the metal markers, there are 4 or 5 of them up there in Cotton that showed up last year. So I don't know if there was going to end up being permanent markers. That was something that was on the table for discussion with Bob Sullivan, and
There's 2, looks like temporary, from Hall Cemetery that went into Cotton, right there on the left up in there. Those recently appeared.
yeah, and a couple other things have shown up there too. So what I was saying is that our other cemeteries are so historic. We're not to say that it's not going to happen, that, someone will come in with Army and stick it on there. It's going to be,
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. Like, what do we consider permanent? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, granite? Like, something larger than this size? I mean, first of all, are we having a problem? Is that why we're writing this up?
well, we got so many requests last year from this, like 3 different organizations, and then we still haven't put in the headstones that the SAR wants to do for the Patriots of Fort
I mean, I just feel
William
like
and
if somebody
Mary.
puts out a metal Army star in front of a headstone, we're not throwing that out.
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
You know, it's like, I agree. I think it's just discretionary, right? So it's like, if somebody put up a plastic potted flower that's mums that are all dried up and it's blown over all over the cemetery, and then when we pick it up. If it's obviously been thoughtfully installed and it's a military star, we're just gonna keep on going.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see.
You know, or if
Yeah.
it's a plastic one that's broken, we're gonna remove it. So we're really talking about monuments,
Okay.
like a piece of granite that's inscripted, that's gonna be put in place, or some kind of footstone or anything like that is what we're talking about, right?
It sounds like it, because the, you know, the SAR and DAR and that, those are solid brass. They cost like $300, so, and they come with the brass stake already attached and everything, so you just, it goes quite deep down.
But it's
into-
like, if we're making them come to the committee to get permission, then we know where this goes,
Well,
potentially, right? Then wouldn't they say, well, why don't they did they get permission?
yeah. And again, SAR and DAR, also, whoever is applying to get a marker, they write to the city cemetery, or the cemetery, and get verification that it's okay to do it. So they're already sort of doing the work already for us, as far as, you know, making
I
sure.
just, you know, it says persons or organizations wishing to install additional markers. That would apply to what Steve's talking about. So those
Right,
people
and
would
the
need,
SAR, yeah.
well, a person put out a star.
Oh, yeah.
SAR is an organization.
Right, but I guess I'm not following. So your family wrote to the,
This was in Nashua. I don't know what my mother-in-law and my wife did with that. I know I helped put it in the ground.
in Nashua?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they got permission, but I don't know. I didn't ever ask until
No,
just now
I
I'm
don't.
thinking about it.
No, I don't mean with the cemetery, but how they got an official marker.
Oh, they had to send his death certificate to the U.S. Army,
That's it.
and then they ordered, it was like $300 or $400 for the
Right.
brass thing.
So again, somebody, and, yeah, and I'm sure the Army wrote to the cemetery, whoever owned it, and asked if there was permission to do
I
it.
doubt it.
I doubt that.
Yeah,
That's a lot of confidence
no,
for
they don't do
the
that.
bureaucracy.
I've gotten two, one for SAR and one for DAR, so, I mean, I don't know.
They, when you order something from the Army or the Navy, what have you, they send it to the person that orders it, and that's it.
They don't care where it goes.
No.
They don't know what you're gonna do with it. They assume that you're gonna put it on somebody's grave, but it's like,
Well, I think you just keep it like this, and if we start having an issue with all kinds
Tweak
of
it.
metal stars showing up on all our cemeteries, then it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Find out who put that there, and let's have a conversation. We're not having the issue, so
We'll standardize.
hopefully
if
people go
necessary.
to our website, they're thinking about putting something in by a headstone, they see this, they come, that we have a quick conversation, yeah, I want to put an Army star, we say, where? Yes, we approve it, here's a small application.
Yeah.
That way we have record of who put what where and when, and we have some more control over like what's going on in the cemeteries, I think is the ultimate goal, right? And not have it be this like, you know,
Plastic fire hydrant.
yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so the one change would be guidelines for installation of permanent markers. Can I get a motion to vote on this? Or a motion to have this put on the website with the change of additional to permanent marker?
didn't we just vote it on that
No, we voted on the guidelines for,
for the Senate? Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to submit to the website.
I have to say it clear for Barbara.
Motion to submit to the website.
Second.
With, okay.
And you raise your hand.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It's okay. We'll let Suzanne know. Then, what's next? I already said that we are gonna, a DAR marker is gonna go in front of, a true DAR marker is going in front of Woodbury Langdon's tomb. And then
This be a good time to do the paperwork to get it approved? Since
Oh,
we've
it
already
took,
done it?
yeah,
Okay.
it took
I don't know
place
if we had the
a month
form
and a
to
half
do it.
ago. Yeah,
Okay.
no. And again, like I said, the DAR wrote or emailed me and had to have permission. the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Still sort of working on that. The Athenaeum is going to put a presentation up on June of 2026 through the end of August. And if I had volunteered, which I did, then the focus will be on our cemeteries, like who is in our cemeteries that were part of the revolution. So, and that's the only reason I volunteered. But but they're really excited about it. So, and there are a lot of things that can be done. An example would be like having a picture of Whipple, a picture of his house, and then a blurb about what he did besides just sign the Declaration of Independence. So it's going to be based on who's buried in our cemeteries. And hopefully I can find stuff from all of our cemeteries, not just North and Union. And others. So if anybody has an original uniform or a jacket kicking around, let me know.
Original?
Well, there are some out there. I haven't talked to Strawberry. I have a meeting with the Athenaeum, and we're going to sit down because they're aware of who has what kind of items every place. So,
I just met with Emma over at the Portsmouth Historical Society.
yeah.
And I believe that they are planning to have something over at the John Paul Jones house. But she told me that they were going to contact the other historical societies as well.
Oh, cool.
And see, because I explained to her that many of the items that are at the New Hampshire Historical Society, which they have several, they're not going to bring them into a place that it needs to be brought into a place with security. So, because otherwise I would not allow the loan.
Which is this, Webster, you said? What historical society?
New Hampshire Historical Society. And they have a vault of, I don't know, thousands of original materials. And there are some that are pertinent to people in Portsmouth. But, you know, they need to be reassured that they're going to be secure. And the only place that really can assure that are some of the historical societies that have, like, the Discover Portsmouth Center, the John Paul Jones House, that have their security protocol already. So she said that she was going to meet with all the other ones. So there's stuff happening. What we need is for it to come on gel together so we can have one, we're all going on the same, rowing in the same direction. But I think that they're beginning to realize that unless we do something locally, there's very little direction that's coming from the 250 Commission in the state.
Right.
So it's an ongoing project.
Right. And the John Paul Jones House, I knew about that because I asked about their secure room, but they have something else planned for that. They're going to do out the whole building with revolutionary paintings from that time frame, things like that. So at least they know, with you talking to them, that, you know, people are interested in participating. So we'll see as it gets closer if they'll use our cemeteries in any way other
We
than.
can still do, you know, like the North Cemetery has most people that were involved in that. And we can still work on getting some sort of outline of what we want to do. And then after everybody else decides how they're going to handle
Yeah.
the 250 locally, we can just say, okay, this is information that we have, and we can do this part.
Right.
But
If you want to put something together for the next meeting that we can, you know, outline of what you foresee, because North Cemetery is your forte. I mean, you know about everybody that's in it. So I mean, I'm being serious. You're the best person to put together what you would like to see or suggestions of what we might be able to do, and whether it's just on the 4th of July that weekend or every weekend during the summer or what have you.
If
And
you
then-
go chronologically, the first celebration that we should have is January 5th next year, which is when the first New Hampshire Constitution was signed. And we were the first colony that had independent government.
Right,
And
the
that
pirogue-
happened
The pirogue, yeah.
June 5th, 1776, 6 months before the National Declaration.
I thought it was, Tom Hardiman said it was this year that it was signed. Whatever.
Signed in 1776, 6 months before.
Okay.
That's all I know. That's what the paperwork says. They voted on it December 1775. They put it together, but they had to wait until the vote from the assemblies, when the assemblies got together in 1776, January.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
that's what you need to put together for us. Because, see, I even had the wrong information, because Tom, well, he wasn't wrong. He said that that's when it was voted on. But, you know, there were a lot of committees. She's talking about the document that New Hampshire was the first state to have a constitution, but not only for here, but in the world. So we were the leaders in the world at the time, and we set the example for other countries about constitutions, you know, writing up documents, whatever they want to
For
call them,
self-government, yeah.
for a form of government. So I had no idea until Tom Hardiman told me, because he said that's what we should be celebrating,
Right.
not the Declaration of Independence.
I think we need to celebrate all of the above.
Well,
Well, plenty to celebrate, but William Whipple signed that document as well. He signed the National Declaration of Independence, and he signed that one.
Here we are today with high property taxes. Come a long way.
so
21
Would
gun
you
salute?
write up-
Are they going to have a 21 gun salute? Cemetery with muzzle loaders?
we could do that, but
That's what I'd like to see.
and we could
Just
have the
point it
drum
towards
and
the mill
fife,
pond and boom, all that smoke and,
and we could get the drum and fife, but we have to try to line it up now because everybody's going to be trying to
oh, yeah,
get the same.
boom.
I
Yeah,
can
it's
contact
fun.
the high school band director if you wanted someone from Portsmouth High School.
The drum and fife.
Well, there's a great drum line. I don't know about the fife, but, you know,
Yeah.
And they have a great drum program.
yeah, I was part of it.
Oh, were you?
We could probably get the school involved.
That's true.
Be really
Yeah,
bad.
the Clippers.
I can contact Mr. Gagnon and see if
Yeah.
they would.
Tell them what it, yeah, that we don't have firm dates or anything, but if,
Yeah.
because now's the time to start lining people up because they're going to be gone. Well, that all, again, it depends on when you want to do it.
So is somebody making a motion that Sue comes up with a celebration timeline? Dates and suggestions?
Like,
well,
I
looking
should
at
not
you.
said a word.
What order and how many and when they should be held?
Oh, man.
No, but I mean, it's true. You have
you
so
know.
much history and knowledge about it. You are the perfect person to do
We're
it.
going to have a lot of people in town on the 4th of July because you also have the thing at Strawberry Bank, the immigration and naturalization,
Yeah.
which, by the way, you should really go to that if you get a
I've been
chance.
to a couple. That's my
Went to
job.
last
Oh, is it?
That's what I do for work. So
Oh, that's my favorite thing, when they stand up.
it's really moving when everyone gets together. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and it's fun to see the different kids that are there with their parents too.
Incredible.
All right, so Sue Polidora is going to get us a timeline for
Try
the.
to
Yes, you
not to
will.
show that much excitement.
Do that in your sleep.
You wrote
Yeah.
you wrote a book. You wrote a book. You can do a timeline, right?
Oh, okay.
It's not that seriously. I mean, just an outline for us to go by. And Celeste is going to contact the
Eric Gagnon, who is the
PHS.
PHS band director.
director.
We can start learning some of the, you
The
know,
old songs.
Yeah,
the
they
old
get-
colonial songs.
That'd be cool.
Drama 5, you know.
Well, they may want to, who knows, for their celebration. What else did we just talk about? That's up and going. Anybody, oh, you want 21 gun salute.
Any excuse for a 21 gun salute. Really, I'm just,
Oh, yeah.
What else do we
when
say?
the tall ships shoot the cannons, that's really something else.
That's cool.
See, I don't
I saw that one year and the fog was coming in right as they were rolling in. It looked so neat.
Well, there are some people around who have cannons, but,
Yeah,
and they can fire them without any cannon ball inside
yeah,
of
hopefully.
it. Yeah, no, I had a neighbor that did
projectiles,
that.
It's just powder, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Just really loud.
I'll look for a cannon.
We
I
just
can't-
get a really nice Wi-Fi speaker and put the Canon effect on it.
No,
Oh, you gotta have a
no, this is, you gotta make this memorable.
Feel your heart rattle.
Yeah. We gotta, all right. So, oh, good. Now we're into doing something with this. So, anything else about the 250th, you guys? I mean, this will be a subject every month and, feedback. And I think Sue's right, because I've talked to all these organizations for months now, and they're only just getting, they are starting to get things going.
We're gonna wanna get ahead of it, but if we're gonna have any kind of event like that, we're gonna have to go
Yep,
to the
in
city
front of,
manager's office and
Yep.
especially with gun salutes and
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
Gonna be some red
So,
tape.
yeah. So we'll get it together and then, because she'll want to know.
Tell Suzanne and then she can figure out what the approach would be. Yep.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. Yeah, because have you been called? The SAR is supposed to, they applied for a new date to put all their plaques in. Have you heard anything
I
about?
mean, that goes to the city manager's office probably, so.
I think I saw something like that in the package on the last council meeting,
Okay.
that we're proposing a date. I
It
just
was,
can't-
yeah, it was September 13th, and
Once
they,
they've decided on it, then I'll probably hear about it. But-
right, they accepted it. So does the city manager, then she calls the meeting, the phone meeting for,
I don't know
anyway,
the exact order they do it in, but
yeah.
they'd apply and then they'd probably have their initial meeting, yeah.
Okay, so that's still on the agenda, so. List of repairs, we still have 15 minutes. I put it, you have a single sheet, I put it on the back of, yeah. This is just something I did real quick before I came here. Hall, and this is for you three guys. No, it's for all of us. Hall, repair the headstones. They have the most broken ones over there. And I don't know if you've had a chance to order the products that he talked about.
Yeah, that and the tripod.
You did?
I haven't yet, but I'm about to.
Okay, because I want to start putting that to use.
I figured you guys would be getting fired up.
I've
here
been
pretty
walking
quick,
around
so-
looking at,
All
doing
right.
my
I'll
game
get that-
plan,
I'll
what's
get
going to
that
hit over
ordered
there.
Yeah, that's what I got.
About the stones and
Yep.
getting more of that stuff.
All right.
Next couple of weeks, we'll start
I'll get
doing
on
that.
it. I'll get it ordered up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Then also over there, I haven't been up there. It has been cleaned up, but I haven't been up. So I saw Petra someplace, and she was already complaining that it's starting to grow really fast. So I don't know.
What's growing really fast?
At Hall Cemetery, that the weeds are
Oh, yeah.
start.
It'll be an epic battle. But it's going to become part of our weekly mow routes, so.
Okay.
Should be able to keep up.
So anyway, but eventually, again, I still meet with, not Ed, but to plant that all with ground cover so we don't have to go back all the time.
Earl?
Earl, that's
Yep,
it.
yep.
So that's still on board because there's a lot of ground cover there already. So if we can put more
I think
ground,
there's enough there to encourage it to grow.
if we
without
just
having
keep
to
it,
let- yeah.
okay.
We keep everything else.
Yeah, some big holes still there from that groundhog or something in there, like a big hole. So we'll have some stuff in there to fill in. And,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
And then more wood chips on the path And then eventually the stone walls up there. The gentleman I talked to in the fall hasn't gotten back to me, but I will, now that it's spring, I will shoot him another email.
Are we going to put like a sign out front saying there's a cemetery back here kind of thing? Is that one of the things that's,
I think for right now, what I would look at would be, let's get it looking really good, or, you know, a nice cemetery, and then we'll fight that battle with Petra
Downstream.
and her neighbor next door. I don't think he's too wild about it either, having a sign there. But when you go by, you can see right down there, and it looks like a path, so.
I think if the sign went anywhere, it'd be up at the entrance of the cemetery, not out on the street.
Okay.
That'd be my guess.
I think we should put, no, I can't say that. Because our right-of-way starts right at the driveway and goes up. But I agree that.
Well, that's
where
it's a
the-
right of way, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think the sign would be in the right of way. I think it would be at the cemetery. So if we
At the
list
beginning of the
it,
path?
no, probably at the entrance of the cemetery. Like,
where the stone walls
Oh.
open up?
but if our website's up to date, you know, people can learn where the cemeteries are, and then they can find it on there.
Right, which I'm still working on, trying to just get our map up that you can click in. It pops up and tells you where everything
I mean, if
is.
you're there, you can see it pretty clearly. Like, if you're looking for it, it's pretty obvious where to go in.
So that was my general thought, let's get it looking good and then worry about trying to get a sign. Because the sign down at, did you hear about this? The sign down at Union Cemetery disappeared. So I got out of my car, went down, and it wasn't low tide, but
What's that?
the big blue laminate sign was gone. It's,
Oh, no. Like when you enter the Iron Gate?
yeah.
Yeah, we took it off because it was hit, and so Jeff has it, he's repairing it. The big, like,
It wasn't
Yeah.
lost.
yeah, I did that right before vacation. I probably should-
I'm right by, the sign's not there, so I walked.
We have it. It's getting repaired, and Jeff's taking care of it
Pressure medicine.
because he has to epoxy some new threaded pieces in there
Yeah.
to bolt it. Because
Did you notify the police that somebody had taken it?
And I even called Jimmy.
Sorry, Sam.
And Jimmy.
We've got a suspect now.
It's like burning bridges on my way out of town to get out to Arizona.
So, and I
Joke's
told
on
Jimmy
Sue.
about it, and I actually
Oh, we're
walked
all
down
over it.
and looked.
I've got it. It's getting repaired.
It's up, already back up.
It's already repaired. Perfect.
I knew it was gonna,
Oops.
but I looked for it in
we
the
got
water.
We fixed it.
Thanks.
Like you can remove the complaint from the police department.
Yeah, well, it was missing, so that's true. Cotton Cemetery. I knew you.
Oopsie.
That's what I mean, no communication like the other thing.
My bad. My bad.
Cotton, Cotton Cemetery, the standard repairing, straightening, plant grass, which we talked about last year. Is it too late this year?
Oh, no. We're barely just getting into the.
But you know where it was so
Yeah.
mucky and everything
Yeah.
like that? And eventually the stone walls on behind and on the front, on the other side of the yellow building need to be done. Their mortar is really, especially next to the yellow building. Who owns that? I mean, does the city own it and they've just leased it out to,
That's my understanding.
yeah,
They signed a 99-year lease
yeah. I wonder when that's
for
up.
$1 a year. Tom LaBerge has the paperwork.
It should be $500 a year and it goes to the cemetery committee. No.
All they have to do is maintain it, yeah. You paint it
We got
for
robbed on that one. Yeah, but I was just curious when the 99 years is up, but if he's part of it, then it's after me, so. Elmwood the same way. You know, it's, Elmwood is just stuck there with some headstones, so they just need to be kept clean, and I think there are a couple that need to be straightened, but that's it. On Pleasant Street, the wall, the stone wall in front, or the brick wall is still in okay shape, but will eventually have to be repaired. the Wendell tomb is definitely going to have to be repaired somewhere along the line.
Did we ever get a number for that?
No, he didn't,
JCB Colby
yeah, he didn't get back to us, so,
took a close look. We can remind him.
yeah.
He did the stone wall at the Elks
Yeah.
down on Court Street.
Yeah.
And I have his email, so
It was on the sidewalks, so.
I'll remind
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I don't know how anyone else feels, but first of all, that driveway should be 25 feet from the cemetery, which neither here nor there. But I would like to see some sort of official divide.
What driveway?
Wentworth at Pleasant Street. I mean, that driveway, and they park right at the very edge of the cemetery, and there is a tomb right on the edge, right there, with the roots over it. There's an actual tomb, so if there's a tomb there, there's probably,
A tomb or a gravestone?
no, a tomb. And it's been confirmed that it's a tomb.
So you
If-
want some kind of like fence or something?
Well, I didn't know, but some sort of separation.
The trees aren't.
No, because I get out of the car and just walk right over there. So
I mean, so you want some sort of,
definition, like,
so there's a point of entry, so you're funneled to an
so,
entry?
yeah, right, to the front, which is, there's a nice entry. I mean, it could be shrubs or what have you. It's not on the top of the list, but,
Money.
yeah,
Yes,
just
I'll take a look.
along that line. And it'll just, because when you walk in there, it just looks sort of plain, or it needs a little sprucing up or something, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, or maybe it's just me,
I'd say it's just you.
The
No.
official entrance is on Pleasant Street.
Right.
So, and then you have natural boundary with the parking lot with the trees.
yeah, what trees are there, but they're not like really close together. That's all right,
I mean,
it's
maybe
just,
we need to, maybe we could plant, let's look at it, maybe we get some shrubs or
yeah.
something natural in there.
But if you're out that way,
Yeah, take
take a look. It's sort of the side, and it's sort of like
I know what you're
bare.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the Pleasant Street's okay. Point of Grave, overall,
When did that wall collapse? This winter?
which I didn't know
Just an
about.
update, Primex was out today, he's putting together an insurance claim on it, so we'll see how much money we get out of that for potential repair,
Right,
because it's,
I assume snowplow.
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. was
I
it?
don't know, I don't think anybody actually knows what happened.
Because Jimmy told me that they thought it was a hit and run
It's
because
not likely a snowplow,
it was
it's too far
another.
back to, I mean, that'd be.
I mean, it's totally dumped over.
Unless they just absolutely fell asleep, but it's over. It got hit. It, probably another delivery truck trying to turn around.
And the other thing, oh yeah, Mike, going down to Gino's. And the other thing is that whole wall, the tops have now cracked. So, I mean, I know they're not going to fall over on their own, but,
We'll see what we get for a number on it and go from there.
because that's always been on our list. And Peter officially told me 6 months ago that that project's been delayed again because he didn't think we should do anything, try to do anything with that wall, even though that originally, if you all remember, came from the request of the neighborhood. The Friends of the South End went to one of those city group meetings with the mayor there, and right after that, we got an email saying, could we work on replacing that stone wall? And that's when Peter said, we're going to do something across the street and we'll be digging up the road, so we'll just wait until that happens. And now, 6 months ago, I asked him if that project, where it was in the list, and he said that that's been changed. So we're out there in limbo again. So I wrote to Jimmy, Peter Rice, and to you, once we get the insurance money, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever it's going to be, if we could save that money until we knew what the final preparation was for that wall, because that's in the coastal flood zone and the rise. So who wants to spend even 5,000 on it? Well, that's different, but you know what I'm saying? Why waste money?
I mean, I think something will have to occur to at least put something there and
Yeah,
fix what's
if they cover that payment for that damage, you gotta fix that damage.
right.
You know, if the insurance company, it's not like when I was in my early years of driving, you get a claim from the insurance company and you decide not to fix the dent in your car, just keep it and just use it for other things, is that they will require that you use it for repairs
that might
on the damage.
I guess the question is, how long do you have
Yeah.
to do that repair? Once
Well,
you get the
let's see what it
claim?
comes back as, and we'll talk then.
Because I'll try to line up the students from UNH to come down and do the water table level too, because that makes a difference on how the wall, when I talked to the engineers at the very beginning, that was the first thing they said they were going to do, was to see what the water table was in that section, because it would determine what kind of wall would be built and how impervious and all that sort of thing. So, okay.
So did you say that Point of Graves is off limit for fixing the headstones?
No.
There
Okay,
is
'cause-
a broken headstone there from the
Yeah.
wall.
And there's also one headstone, you can just see like this much of the white left. It's sunk down the whole thing. So
No, it's
we
not
can-
off.
We can fix those, reset
Yeah,
those and stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. 'Cause that's seen by a lot of people, so it'd be nice to have that pristine.
Well, if you guys want to go over there
I do.
and,
Try the new tripod out when we get it.
oh, that would be great. Yeah, because one of them's way down.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ones that has a famous Boston carver did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the really good etchings that you see on, even in the North Cemetery, that are very detailed and intricate,
yeah,
were done by someone one of these artists in Boston.
yeah.
Cool.
And it's usually people that, that have the means and they can
Yeah.
commission someone to do their
They
headstone.
could have it shipped up by water. Does anybody have to leave at exactly at 5? About 5 more minutes. Okay. So you guys all right.
Yeah,
Um,
make that a priority.
Yeah.
I do have a suggestion for the repairs on the North Cemetery.
Yeah.
Is that the headstone for Esther Molyneux?
Yeah.
She is the daughter of Whipple, Prince Whipple.
Yeah.
So if the family's coming over for Dinah's Whipple, headstone, her grave is right around the corner from
Yeah.
Prince, and her grave is just broken off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. She's
So as soon as you get the epoxy, I can practice on the whole cemetery, because there's a lot of little ones broken. We can do that, figure it out, and then do that one afterwards.
half of it is broken off.
Okay.
yeah, it's broken in half and laying on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I sent you a picture of it too. Yeah.
They decided to see their ancestor. It's going to be a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
impression just to see the headstone broken up. And,
No. Then North Cemetery, Corin has to decide what we're going to use the 10,000 for.
I have to decide.
No, we're,
Committee's gonna decide.
before we start using it, I'm going to use it, the L-CHIPS
Looks like a
comes up
twink.
this month, so I'm going to use that 10,000 to try to get another 10,000 from the L-CHIP. So as soon as that gets off and running, then we can, we can plan how to use it, but wait a little bit so we can hopefully get $10,000 more, double it. So, but the same things, there's quite a bit of wrought iron in North Cemetery too. Straightening the headstones, the front of most of the tombs have to be repaired. Take down the dead trees, which we already know, plant grass, and take down the back fence. And also, there are some out-of-control shrubs in the cemetery that need to come down too, that were never there. They might be 20 years old, but that's as old as they are, so.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And, let's see.
Is UNH coming back to North Cemetery? I know this is off a different topic, but is UNH students coming back to do another dig at North Cemetery?
Don't know. I haven't heard from Alex yet. I assume he is, but I don't know. He's on my list to reach out to. I didn't want to bug him about it because he's pretty busy. But I haven't heard anything from him, which is kind of strange. So he might have actually gone to another college or might be away on a job or assignment for research. So, but I hope they're going to come back. So, Union Cemetery, May 9th is when. Do you know how many people might show up, or is it going to be just whoever shows up that day? For
I don't know yet. I should know by the 15th.
Oh, the
of
Liberty
April.
Day service.
okay,
So I'll find out.
okay.
I'd like to go down at some point with you and Corin to, just put together a game plan. I don't know if there's any sanding I could do ahead of time or.
I think there's very little prep that has to be
I'll
done.
email you or.
Okay.
When are
or
you?
if you already have things that you're going to be going to either North or Union.
Whenever you want to meet, we'll meet over there, whatever works for you.
Say again?
Whatever works for you, just let us know and we'll
Okay,
meet there.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're great.
When are you back? Next month? Are you back next month?
I was thinking like in the next couple weeks. I'll be home Monday.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. What? We'll see you when we see you
Yeah.
then. So,
Just so we're prepared.
Yep.
good idea.
Absolutely.
The wrought iron cleaning on the 9th. I'm not going to give up on rebuilding the holding tomb down there. I know that's down the line, but that was a part of the original cemetery, and it can be made so people can't get into it. So that's not an excuse to not rebuild it, and it wasn't supposed to be torn down in the assessment. It was supposed to be left up and repaired. So, it was just another one of those things that happened that shouldn't have happened back in the day. But anyway, that's down the aisle, down the aisle. The aisle right down the middle of
On the wish list.
Yeah, on the wish list.
And also the sign in the Union Cemetery is missing.
Oh, it's back now. Somebody removed it, didn't tell anybody, and then fixed it and put it back.
It's a weird ghost we got down there.
I know.
I didn't fix
know.
it. Jeff and Glenn fixed it.
I'll thank
They
Jeff.
fix everything.
They would have told me if you had said, "Hey, let Sue
They
know."
would have.
Rebuild, straightening headstones, repairing tilting stones, and again, her driveway, Karen's driveway, sits right on the edge there of the headstones, and actually in the past, a couple of them were actually going to end up in her driveway, so that's something, again, on the list further down, because there are some nasty headstones down there that are really tilted and things like that need repair before.
Tripod crew to the rescue.
Yes, and we're going to try to recruit more people. All right, real quick. There is one more, there's another New Hampshire program grant coming out for the arts, and I'm going to apply for it because we have a lot of art in our cemeteries. So I'm going to convince them that they can't just shove us off to the side. So they have to at least consider us. And that would be sort of like towards Point of Graves and that's what I was actually thinking about. Then May 9th, we know Liberty. June 13th is the day of the unveiling of Dinah's headstone, which, has anybody heard anything back from the company yet?
Well, remember we called right before I left.
Right, and she
So
said it
we're
was
not going to
on.
bother them again until beginning of May.
Okay, well, I didn't know if they might have emailed.
I mean, I haven't heard anything of you, Dee. They whatever date we've set with them, they said they're on track. So I'm going to give them a little more space to do their thing, and
Right there.
we'll touch
I
base
agree.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. we're on track. The night before, June 12th, at the library, they do every month a history night, and I'm going to present a slideshow on, or a PowerPoint on Dinah. I've tracked down some information that there were 2 diners at that point in time, and there's indication, well, a Dinah was born out on Star Island to Jonathan Tuck, the Reverend, and then there was another Dinah in Hampton with the Wingates, and then the woman in Hampton married Stephen Chase, who was the minister in Newcastle. So there's question if she wasn't really born in Newcastle, if she came with Jane Wingate to Newcastle when she got married, or if the Dinah from Star Island, who we know who her mother is, and they lost track of her through probate and things like that, if she ended up in Newcastle, because all 3 people, Tuck, Thayer, and Chase, all grew up in Hampton. So the families were intertwined. So, and there's more information about her too, about different places that she lived when she was here that aren't listed. So just so you know, everyone will be invited, but again, that came a part of the celebration for Dinah in the cemetery. So that's taking place. And I just want to, guys, let you know that I'm doing it. I'm not trying
Give a
to.
time on the 12th.
The 12th at the library at 6:30, I believe.
That's not one of their pre-registered events, right?
I don't think so, yeah. No, what happens is I take part of these conversations and I'm helping plan what's going on at the cemetery for Dinah, and Suzanne asked me to take care of, all the lineup and everything, so that's how. So anyway, let's see, and the African burial ground, Corin's in charge of all that, and hopefully it's going to be done by June 19th, well, before that.
It better be done. We're also having the chip seal redone. I think first or second week of May. David Fosis is lining that up.
Oh, them to come down and,
Yeah, the new pavement, that'll be redone. I've got Daedalus, I checked in with them the other day, they're on board. Jerome is almost done with the tile template.
Oh, good.
Laying it out, so I should have that
oh, good.
in the next, well, he's supposed to have it to me by the end of the month, but it looks like I'm gonna have it the next 2 weeks.
Oh,
The tile guys all lined up, we're just getting the legal paperwork signed by him, and
it's all coming together.
should be good to go.
Cool.
And they're also starting the water line down there
Next week,
next week.
yeah.
I think they're gonna start ripping out the brick on the sidewalks, maybe even tomorrow, but that whole project's happening down there in the next week or so,
That's great.
the water line replacement.
At the last meeting, also, the discussions taking place on that committee, if they're going to get away from just being the African Burial Ground Memorial, to turn it into, they're recognizing there are other cemeteries in town that have African Americans buried in it. So there's sort of a slow transition of it being called a cemetery, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that we're sort of coming together, and that it's not, the focus isn't just on the memorial, because it really is a gravesite, but you know what I'm saying, we're working up a good, wouldn't you say, Dee, that we're working a good relationship between the committee, and they're trying to refocus and things like that, so.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, so that's positive, and then that's it, unless anybody else has anything that, oh, Celeste, have you heard back from,
Not yet.
okay. Do you want to do a follow-up with
Yeah,
that?
I'll
I mean,
email
not, I mean, it's out there, but still, be nice to know, so. Does anybody else have anything they want to bring up real quick? I kept you 10 minutes after, but,
12.
well, you should speak. You didn't even keep me in the loop, so, anyway, all right.
Oh, payback.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Second,
All-
third, fourth.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank-